Let's bring on epidemiologist Dr. Raywat Deonandan. Hello, welcome back.
Hello.
Hello. I feel like we're in Seinfeld. Hello.
Hello.
So here we are, 2 weeks into the modified stage 2. The numbers are not low, but I know things don't happen overnight, so I don't want to sound impatient. What is your opinion of the situation right now?
I think things are getting better in Ottawa. I really do. Now, if you look at some of the key indicators, the reproduction number, which is that magic number, it's the average number of new cases produced by an old case. It's below 1 for the first time in a couple of weeks. Now, keep in mind, the testing is not perfect these days. Our testing process is a bit broken, so take that with a bit of a caveat. Our hospitalization rate, which is an important thing to look at, right? It was climbing before we instituted these new restrictions, and it seems to have leveled off about 50, which is a high number, but it's leveling off. And then there's the wastewater data, which I'm quite excited by. I never thought I'd say that I'm excited by sewage, but I am. And if you don't know, in Ottawa, we're one of the few cities in North America that monitors viral signal in our poop, in our sewage. And you can go to the CFRA Public Health wastewater website to monitor it. It was climbing like steeply up until the new restrictions were put into place, and then 2 weeks later, it just dropped suddenly. And I wonder if there are other explanations for this, but to me, the most likely explanation is we're seeing the effects of the restrictions, or at least on people's behaviors in response to the restrictions, showing a lesser viral load. So I see this as positivity. Speaking of positivity, there's also the test positivity rate, which is not great, but it's less than 3% and holding under 3%. And 3% tends to be the signal in a lot of places to start closing more things. So I like to take the good news when it comes.
Okay, so all of that is very positive, and, that is a far cry from what those researchers, and we had them on the show last week, were saying last week. They were shocked. They were astounded, Dr. Deonandan, by the high levels of the virus that were found in Ottawa's wastewater, and they actually described it as being strapped to a rocket. So this is obviously much better, but I think people are interested to know, why is the wastewater study getting better? Is it because of bars and restaurants? Is it because of gyms? Is it because of movie theaters? Is it because of casinos? And the truth, as far as I understand it, is there's no real way of knowing because we closed all of those things together.
That's right. Now, let's back up a second. Yeah, we're still strapped to the rocket ship. That's not wrong. The last couple of weeks, it was really exploding, or month rather. It's just that in the last week or so, it's come down a lot. So that's my positive take. The rocket ship has slowed down, okay? But the rocket ship is still there. So we cannot disentangle what factor caused it, if in fact it was the closures and it was human behavior. It might still be an artifact. Maybe there's something about the sewage system I'm unaware of, like rainfall caused a few tanks to suddenly disengorge their preload before that was not there previously. I don't know. I don't know how the sewage system works. Right? Or it might be a bunch of people are now pooping in the woods. I don't know. Anything's possible, but it seems likely.
I mean, that sounds like a conspiracy theory right now. People go, oh no, you're not going to test my waste. Out I go into the forest. I mean, that would be, in 2020, with people walking around and all their theories these days, actually carry on. That actually could be happening. Who knows?
Anything's possible now, right? Or people are holding it for some reason. I don't know.
Oh, no.
Right. But yeah, you're right. You can't disentangle which effort it was, but it was likely one of those things, or a combination of all of them. We prevented some super spreading events, or we slowed down existing transmission. That was already happening. Or it could be that people saw this as a signal not to socialize more, and it had nothing to do with the bars and restaurants and gyms. People decided, you know what, I'm not going to go to parties anymore. I'm not going to socialize. So whatever it was, something caused people's behavior to change, manifesting in the efflux of their intestines that we are now measuring in the wastewater.
Chatting right now with...
I never thought I would say.
Chatting right now with epidemiologist Dr. Raywat Deonandan. I want to ask you quickly before I let you go about this rapid testing that is coming for Alberta travelers. So it's part of a pilot project. People arrive in the province from abroad and they can get tested. So it's a rapid PCR test. It will give travelers a result within 24 to 48 hours. And the idea is that it can shrink down their quarantine time from 14 days to 48 hours. They have to get another test between days 6 and 7. But if they wear a mask and they avoid high-risk groups, they can walk around and they can travel. What do you think about that?
It has merit on its face. It comes down to the diagnostics of the test, the sensitivity and specificity, because there could be some false negatives that are wrapped up in there. And keep in mind that if you're exposed that day, and you would test negative regardless of the test, and you're walking around society, and then you develop an infectious load later on, and now you're infectious and you think you're negative. So there is a possibility of letting loose infectious people who think they are not infectious. So that is the danger. I'd have to see the specific diagnostics of the test and the exact plan for deploying it to render a proper determination. But I like that they're thinking creatively.
Dr. Deonandan, great to have you on the show. Thanks so much.
Thank you.